like you talked about as a young man, wanting to own $1 billion portfolio of business. And I
Yeah.
believe you will do that. I believe you will
Thank
accomplish that. So I think you have the bigger dream. Where I have seen people get in trouble is they think they're going to win the lottery.
you. Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't happen. So now you say, okay, I want to have that $1 billion portfolio by the time I'm 48 or whatever the
Yeah.
number is.
Mm-hmm.
And you start backing it down and saying, what's a first step?
Yeah.
It's kind of like having a child, and you're not going to get them to run until you can get them to walk.
Yeah. Which apparently you're an expert on.
It happened today with my first granddaughter.
That
So
is
at Papa
amazing.
John's camp, it occurred. But I put it in those terms because we all have to crawl before we walk, before we run.
Mm-hmm.
And so dream as big as you can,
Mm-hmm.
and then say, okay, start going through a mental exercise of
Mm-hmm.
steps. And for you, Donnie, it may be, okay, I need to successfully buy and build a business.
Yeah.
And that allows me to then develop
Mm-hmm.
the skill set, the scar tissue, whatever's needed.
Yeah.
In
Definitely.
order to expand to that next step.
Okay.
So one of the things I've seen, the mistakes I think people make is big dreams. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen a person do this, but they never broke it down and were willing to, as some people say, get their hands dirty,
Yeah. Sure.
before you're going to do the billion,
Yeah.
you may have to go do 100,000 or 1,000,000. So
Man, six-figure deals are a lot different, depending on the size of your business, my friend. For those of us, I was just having this conversation with somebody, and we were talking about, the difference when, we've been on similar paths. So when you're working for a corporation, and depending on what you're selling or services and stuff, it's just it's amazing, almost a staggering difference, and maybe it's multiples of 10, right? But the difference between closing, say, $1 million working for a Fortune 500 company, and closing like a six-figure deal, at a company that you're growing, just the sheer feeling of it is so much bigger.
I know.
It's completely.
And it's so critical to the journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe that's a concept that I think is important for people. I know it's overused that life is a journey,
Mm-hmm.
but it truly is a journey. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it starts with your big dreams.
Yeah.
And then again, how do I break this down
Mm-hmm.
so that I am making progress in my journey
Mm-hmm.
towards those big dreams?
Yeah. Now, and one of the, continuing to build on this, John, because I think that this is just outstanding. The second aspect of, the podcast is driving change through people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've known you for a long time. I know that you're a phenomenal relationship person, amazing at follow-up, from a business development perspective, and frankly, visionary and all of that. But one of the things that I've admired about you for some time as well is not only the depth of relationship, but your ability to be able to drive change through people, whether that is developing leaders or, any aspects. I don't want to lead you, to how you talk about that, but can you talk through, you didn't build a $100 million business by yourself, right? And we live in a time where entrepreneurship, or being an entrepreneur is like a hot button, right? Like everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. And I think this also this concept of like being self-made, right?
Yes.
Is also this really hot thing because everybody wants to be self-made. But can you talk about the importance that, being able to drive change and even drive your vision with and through other people, in being able to achieve those things and how critical that was?
There's been a lot of research on this as well, that a lot of young people, most of us succeed because of our individual performance and individual accomplishments. That's how we get through high school. That's how we get into college.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to a good college and we achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And so we enter that first job, for most people after college in their early 20s, and we still are very much individuals, and we think about individual performance.
Yeah.
And here's the key. Some people never can break away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But the truly successful people learn that in order to accomplish phenomenal things, it takes a team. Whether you're talking about Elon Musk or the person building a local business in Boston or Pittsburgh, it takes a team. Now, research shows that transition, if it's going to occur, happens for most people in somewhere in their 30s to early 40s.
Okay.
And if they don't make that transition, they will go through life as an individual performer.
Wow.
But if you want to build a major enterprise or build as you've talked about, a portfolio of businesses, we all have to learn how to get things done through other people.
Yeah.
Collins, in the book Good to Great, he talks about, the levels of leadership and what is a level 1 through level 5 leader. If you go back and read that section again, you'll see how the level 5 leader is going to enable, empower, and help others achieve their goals. So again, most human beings have their own set of dreams. And if you can find a way to help someone else on their journey to achieve goals that fit with their dream, and that is so important. And so it's important to understand your people. It's important on how you get alignment so that for some period of time, you're going to move on a shared journey in order to accomplish something.
Yeah.
And I can't emphasize that enough. The longer I've been around business, the more I've learned about it's not as much about me as it is how do I get a team of people focused on shared values, shared vision, and how do we go on the journey together and accomplish something that will then help them as they go on, maybe together or maybe a separate journey at some point in life.
Yeah. And I think there's so much power in that, man. It's the rocket analogy, right? Which is an amazing analogy that I heard, years ago, where, the amount of rockets and additional boosters, if you will, just to get a rocket off of the ground in the first place, right? There's some that, literally just stay on the ground, right? But they from a propulsion perspective are necessary just to get it off of the ground. And then, the difference in those then, additional kind of rocket boosters that then are able to push, folks beyond the atmosphere, which are then different than the ones who help you navigate once you're in space, and then the different aspects of things that that help you kind of come back into orbit and then ultimately land. And one of the person who shared the analogy with me was sharing it from the perspective to say, in life, there are people, in your life for, say, a season, but all of them are important. But just from like a sheer weight perspective, as you think about, continuing to achieve and move to different levels in life, some of those people may just naturally kind of fall off, but it doesn't mean that they're not important or haven't been important in your life. It just means in order for you to go to the next level, then they may end up falling off. But, like you said, that shared vision, mission, etc. for that season of time will help you achieve, a certain level. of success.
I love that analogy, and it can really be used with mentors. And you know, I hear people talk about mentors, and a lot of times they'll talk about it kind of singular, like I need a mentor to help me get where I'm going to go. And I think the reality of it is you need many mentors.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that English composition teacher was really a mentor and an inspiration to me, though I may not have known it at the time when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many people who have touched my life, and they have been that booster rocket that
Mm.
I needed at that point in time.
Yeah.
And so I do think we need to not only think about, we always need to think about the people we affiliate with.
Mm-hmm.
Another important concept, it took me a lot of years to figure it out, but our ability to accomplish our goals and realize our dreams and our visions has a lot to do with who we surround ourselves with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tough concept that not everybody wants to deal with. I know I didn't want to deal with it early in my life and
Yeah.
say, well, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is. If
Mm-hmm.
there's someone in your life that's holding you back or
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to see you succeed,
Yeah.
you've got to evaluate that relationship. So
Yeah.
it's very, very important. Again, it's these booster rockets, and
Yeah.
sometimes mentors change as we go through life.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, just to build on that point, John, I have been encouraging people really close to me, and some of them, when they listen to this, they'll appreciate it because I literally have said it this way. You know, hashtag pressure season, right? It is time to not only dream big, but to apply pressure. And you gave me this compliment actually a couple weeks ago, and you referenced it again today. Stalk your goals, my friends. If you're
Amen.
hearing this, I need you to ramp up the pressure to achieve. I need you to ramp up your focus to achieve. I need you to ramp up, your energy and focus on the achievement of those pieces. Because my belief is this: the more that you're willing to do that, and the harder that you're willing to go after it to speed up the achievement of your dreams, right? I think it was Puff Daddy, Diddy, who said, if you're still chasing your dreams, you're not running fast enough.
Wow.
And I said, and one of the things I love about that, John, is this. One of the things that I've seen in life is that the more that I've been focused and locked in on my dreams and goals, the faster the people are revealed who are still supposed to be in my life, right?
Yeah.
Because it's literally going to either attract more people to you to help you achieve that. You know, you gave the reference to, sitting next to that person on the plane. But at the same time, it's also going to repel people who really aren't supposed to be in your life.
That's right.
You
And
know, so if you can
eh,
speed up
yeah.
that process, then
And to add to that, there have been several points in my life where that person wasn't sitting next to me on the plane.
mhm,
And I read somebody's book or whatever, and I picked up the phone and I called that person and
mhm.
reached out to them. And some of those people have had dramatic impacts on my life.
Wow.
So I would also say that those of us that are aggressive, and you have
Mhm.
to be thoughtful about it and
Sure.
how you approach someone,
Yeah.
but it is important. Think about your circle of friends and who could help you connect and meet
Mhm.
that person.
Yeah.
So it becomes very important because at the end of the day, as you said with the people, most of us are going to achieve our goals because of the other people in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so very, very important to make those connections.
Yeah. It's huge.
Also, think about how do I put myself in the right kind of settings?
Mm. Environment.
Where do the people that I need to spend time with, where
Mm.
do they hang out?
Yeah.
And Donnie, you and I have talked about the importance of